All right, fellas, Simplicity. That's a good company. You have standard Briggs engine. There's water and puke. You know, it pulls over. Let me see if I can get to it. Oh, by the way, look. This screw. Nothing like putting a wood screw. Can you see it? That's like jammed. Nothing like putting a wood screw in there. So, yeah, it kind of pulls over. And puke came out of it. Okay. So, that's not good. That means a valve is probably stuck. It feels okay. This is so common. I may have all this top stuff. We can switch it over from another engine I have, like a donor. I also have another engine. But we want to see if we can get this one going. And flat tires, which, you know, we'll have to deal with that. Yeah, there's water in there. You're not going to see that. Besides, you don't care. Nobody cares. Let's see what the oil looks like. There's like no oil in it. Oh boy, fellas. Well, but it's also been laying on its side. Might have dripped out. So I've been kind of laying it on its side. Well, I have. Let me get the pressure washer out. But this is the Intec 206 or whatever it is. You know, it's a little bigger than 190cc. It's not a bad motor. It's common. The valves get stuck. We'll probably be pulling the head off or whatever, or see if we can loosen the valve if it's stuck. As I said, I can see it grinding over here. I've got just about everything off. It doesn't look too bad. About noon. Let me break out. Yeah, it's a little dirty. Let me break out the pressure washer now, and we'll get started on this. The thing is, I can't get the gas tank off. These bolts are so hard to get to, I don't know how I'm going to get them back in again. So what I might do is, when I'm pressure washing, I might just shove the hose in there, a little super clean. It is dirty in there. Let it drain out. We're not going to be working on this immediately. I don't know. Maybe we will be. I don't know. But if it can just drain and blow it with compressed air. Bros, I tried getting the bolts out from underneath. The axle's in the way. It's on super tight. Maybe when we get it up on the table inside, might be able to spend some more time with it. But maybe if the motor moves a little bit, I don't know. I don't think there's not a lot of room in here to move with the cowling and everything. If you put a hose to this tank, it's got baffles in it. They are so hard to get the water out. But what are we going to do? This here, the stuff I wanted to get for the rim sealer and everything is on back order. I think we're just going to clean it real good. We'll take them off, put them up on the table, try to get everything cleaned out real good, and maybe I'll just use, I have some like leftover gasket sealer too, you know, the Gorilla Snot. I've seen guys use that on these beads. It's probably just having issues holding air from the bead. All right, let me get out of here. Let me keep going. It's windy. All right, fellas, a little bit of super clean on, the foamy on the right, regular on the left. And I gave it a rinse with the pressure washer. It's not bad. All right, even just with the pressure washer, a lot of it came off, but we want to get some in on the tires and stuff. Start our cleaning process. I got to get up here too, just give it a rinse, and then we'll shove some super clean into the tank. All right, we'll blow it through with the power wand, right, a little bit. I like those turbo nozzles. Got to be careful with them though, fellas. All right, this is all clean. I'll bring it in tomorrow. I'm too tired now. This thing is nice and clean. The tank pretty much emptied out of water, and it's been sitting out for a little while. Hopefully it doesn't rain tonight. But, you know, I think we did okay. I'll tighten up that bolt over there I tried to take out. Super clean. Get yours now. All right, fellas, it looks pretty good. It's clean. Yeah, Simplicity Manufacturing, Inc. If I look closer, I might even see a date. I will. I'll put my glasses on a little bit. How about let me go find everything. I gotta get the carburetor out. Let's do a compression test on this and a spark check. So, I'll move it around this way. Let me go set up. It looks pretty good. We'll spin it over with the drill. Let me put the battery on charge real quick, and we'll see if there's any compression and spark in it, and see how much further we can go. I think the biggest problem might be I mean, as long as we have compression, I think probably the bigger problem is going to be getting these tires to seal up again. See you in a minute. Look at this, fellas. This plug is like mint. It's like freaking mint. Let's throw some of this stuff in. This is I can make more. It's transmission sauce. It's mixed with, yeah, there's a little water in there. Even though I capped it. No, that's gas. Wait, hold on. No, it's still a little bit of water. I did blow it out. It's been sitting for a long time. It's been sitting for like a week. What we got to do is splash a little bit of gas in here before we connect it. Turn the valve off, splash it around, and dump it out and blow, and then we can connect it. So let's just spin it. All right, the heat's on. It's going to make some weird sounds. What the hell was that? Feels good. Like, it feels a little sticky, though. Yeah, I could feel some stuff coming out. All right, let's check for spark. We don't want too much of that mist because it'll light on fire if it's not. If it's gas, it will. If it's not water. All right, let's just take a peek. We gotta get it propped up better and level after we spin it, and then we'll check for oil. I see spark. So we have spark. Let's check for compression. And while we're here, let's spray some lube into the valve area here. Now I can see that valve open. And it's definitely got some kind of, I don't say compression, but it's got something going on because when it was spinning, it was shooting stuff out of the plug hole. Oh yeah. Yeah, she's got over 100 pounds. Let's just see what's in here. It doesn't have much. And it doesn't smell right. It smells a little gassy. I'm a little gassy too. So we'll put some good used oil in. I might have a little bit of good used oil. Yeah, there's like no oil in this. So it might have had some. You know, this could be bad. It could have damaged the engine, but we'll put some like somewhat good used oil in it, and I'll spin it over some more. And that's how we'll test it. And because if there was gas in it, there might have been. It might have come down in. That could have been what would cause some of the problems. That would do it. This plug is so mint. It has a little bit of like, looks like maybe a little oxidation or something from water on it, but nothing bad. This plug's mint. So I'm going to go put a little oil in it, spin it around. I want to take the magneto off and just clean around here. And we'll clean, I'll show you. I'm just going to clean the magnet off, wherever it is. I'll get to it. These handlebars are in my way. Yeah, just to clean it off a little bit. It's not bad. I'll get you in tight in a minute. But you can see it's not really that bad, right? It's not. But we'll just get everything and clean up, gap it to 10,000ths. I'll bring it back in for that. And hopefully, like, everything feels good. I don't hear any weird noises. See you in a minute. It's not bad. I'm just going to hit this with the cookie and get these standoffs too, so we get good connections, good ground. I already did this guy. I'll turn the light on. All right, so that's all nice and clean. And then we'll just gap it to 10,000ths if it lets us. Because sometimes these flywheels aren't right. The magnet isn't sitting in properly. This is in like a rubber type plastic. It's embedded in there. It's pressed in. So we'll get that set up, and then we'll go figure out what carburetor I have. I think I actually have one. That's all, right? That's all we need to do. You don't need to do a lot. And now we can put this back. Put a little lubricant on the threads of these bolts. A little oil, and let's see what if 10,000ths will do it. So here's, I think this is the HIPA, one of the HIPA carburetors I had aftermarket, and I think I ran it on something, but we got this. This is jammed. Right, this is all jammed up. There was a lot of water in there. It peed out. It's just been sitting like that. You might be able to get it to go again if you spend some time with it, but my attitude is, why? We got this. Let me work to putting this on, and then we'll see if this thing runs. All right, pretty simple. Just get that spring on first, right? And then you hook this in. Remember to get your gaskets on. They give you a gasket if you get a new carb. All right, so gasket on the block, then there's the spacer, phenolic spacer, then another gasket. We'll bolt this in, and then we can purge this tonight, and then the cover goes on, and we can put all the rest of it on. And I guess it'll be tomorrow when we'll test it because it's getting late. But I can get it all set up. This thing's pretty nice, but I think what I'll do is we're just going to throw this in a slop tank. I'm going to hit it with the wire wheel and the Scotch-Brite thing, whiz wheel, real quick. And then I'll tape it off and I'll paint it tonight. And we can leave it for tomorrow. And it'll be nice and painted. And then we'll lubricate the inside because it's pretty clean, but we'll give it another cleaning. Then we've got to lubricate in here and get into where the spring pocket is and pull it through. That we can do tomorrow because I'm going to get it wet. Get it dry and get it painted tonight. So that's what I'm going to focus on. All right, so I took the cable off, right? We got some tri-flow there. It is the straw, right? And I just used my cable luber, shoved it in, came up and out here. So that's working good now, right? We got this working good. Usually these work pretty good. Now we got to mount this. So let me work on that. We'll mount this. In the other room, I've got the paint on it. We'll let it dry, and then I think maybe a little bit, we'll drop a little fuel in here, turn this switch off, and slosh it around, and then let it kind of pee out, and then I can blow it out, and that way it can dry overnight. And I know for sure there's no water in that. All right, well, we know how the water got in. This cap is cracked. And look, you can see a little bit of water at the bottom. I can see it. See that little darker area down in the corner there? All right, anyway, let me get rid of that. Let's see if I can get these wheels off now. I also blew out the tank, let it drip, so I think we got all the water out of it. It can sit and dry. Get these wheels off and see what I can do with them. I got a little strap wrench here. I need bigger ones, but I just put a little bit of pressure on this one just to try to get the bead to seat. Let's see if we can force it up. I just want to train the bead to seat, and if I can get it seated, we can put some chemical in it tonight. Yeah, there we go. See? All right, let me get this apart, and we'll blow it up a little bit more. But at least it'll be in here overnight, warming up. I don't think this is leaking, fellas. I don't think it's leaking from here. This is just some soapy water. In fact, I gotta go put a little more soap in this. I'll bring this in the house, but I'm not seeing anything, but I think we're gonna put a little bit of chemical in this tonight and just let it slosh around, you know, and then fill it back up. Let me do the other one. I think we'll be all right, and just let it sit. This one's gonna be harder because it's been sitting, so it's bent, but you know, the tube's a little, the rubber's a little bit tweaked, but we might get it. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in here. This one's probably okay. This is good. It'll clean my bench. I'll wipe my bench down. I should have cleaned my bench off a little bit first. You know, fellas, instead of just, you know, making a mess of everything. Well, nothing's jumping out at me, so yeah, maybe just a little bit of chemical inside. We'll get some stop leak in it. I think it looks pretty good. This way, while the paint is drying for tomorrow and the tank is drying for tomorrow, and we can put this stuff back on. All right, let me do this one. I'll be back. Yeah, and I get to clean up a little. All right, I walked away for an hour or whatever, do some chores and stuff in the house. But before I did, I put a little bit of pressure on it. It's starting to pop up. But I also put some more soap in here. Let's just let this get a little flexible. I'll crank on it a little bit more. Just a little bit. All right, we don't want to over distort it. Yeah, that'll be enough. Let's try that. And let's just and I can press down a little. That way tonight I can put some slop leak in here. Now we gotta lift up some more. Hold on, I got an idea. Sorry, the heater's on. It's getting cold. But normally I set it up over there, but the monitor's over there for us, so I can see what's going on. I need to really have it lower, and the other vise is better for that. But if I can just give it a push, just push it in a little bit. There we go. Okay? Just a quick push. It's all like that's it. It's done. Literally, just a quick push. Because you have to push on the rim to some degree. And so I just kind of slid it on there. All right, I'm going to fill this up, and I'll let the air back out, and then we'll put the slop leak in. All right, fellas, a little soap on it, you can see. See, she's weeping out of the side wall here, and a couple of spots, and like here. See it all? I know the light's kind of crappy in here tonight, but all right, at least we know. So now we'll pull the air out, and we'll put our slop leak in. Now we know that this one, that's why she's leaking. Now you could put a tube in this, but usually I find that the stop leak works pretty good for tires. This tire is not in terrible shape. Now you can also put oil in it. And I like to use the really old, like really black used motor oil. That works real good. But I think we'll just stay with some slop leak. Let me get it. But at least we got the bead set. So I like to use the flat out. It works pretty good. I got to get some more. So look, see, she's really growing some hair. And that way I can leave it overnight, and tomorrow I'll put a little bit more in. What's good is you shake it around. Gotta take the valve out. But at least we got it seated. Yeah, she's a weepy tire. And then tomorrow I'll add more, but we'll shake it around, and then we'll lay it down, and it'll coat the one side, and then tomorrow I can add some more when I get started. And it just takes a little while. Yeah, we're going to use up probably my last little bit on these tires. And I want to put some in the other one too. Coat it a little bit. All right. Let's see. We just got to get some air. We want to keep the bead set so we can stretch the tire. There we go. I don't want to. It'll leak out, which is good because it'll kind of push it. It'll push the chemical in. And then tomorrow I'll do this again. And even over the night, like as I come and go in here tonight. All right, I'll do the other one, and we'll have something to work with tomorrow.
The next morning.
All right, it's the next day. So this one was in better shape, and it didn't leak. This one just leaked a little. This is the bad one. But what I did was, it wasn't flat. I did was I put some more, stop leak, not much, slosh it around a little bit, like that. And now what I've done is I've mixed up some really dark, like black oil with a little bit of gas in here. We're just going to spray it on, about 50-50, because it's cold out. And this will swell the rubber. I use black oil, the blackest you can get. Why? Because, well, rubber is not black. In order to get it black, you got to put carbon black in it. And that's basically what's in this old, really black oil, other than dirt, right? And it will swell the rubber and fill up, make the pores sort of seal up. Now, again, the gasoline is a vehicle, like to get it to spray so we can apply it quickly. See, I'm basically done. You can put it on straight. A lot of people put it in the tire, which is better, because what'll happen there is I can still see some weeping along here. I can actually see it. It's coming out this way. So this is going to need another application probably of the stop leak. But I don't see it on this side. So another thing to do, we'll just really load it up. I'm just going to leave it out here. That's it, we're done. And it'll swell it up. Like this will stop leaking after all. This I filled at about 35 pounds, and so it's kind of pushing away some of what's already been sealed, and pushing some more, material from the inside into these spaces. So it's probably a good idea to just kind of do that. But this one will probably, I don't put much in. This will probably need another application to stop leak. Slime, whatever. It really doesn't matter. They're all about the same. The stuff I'm using has Kevlar in it, and the stuff I'm using actually has 2 different formulations. I think 3 actually. One of them is for really big holes, like when you're on the trail with an ATV tire. Yeah, you can see she's coming out in here. So this will need more. And so that one will like stop a big hole, a puncture. The stuff I'm using is more geared for tires like this. It just takes a while to get it in. You can also get the can to stop leak because it's thinner. Like the regular tire fix-a-flat, right? That's thinner, and it will go into these little weepy areas quicker. And you can mix and match too. I've tried slime. They're all about the same. Before we get started, I just want to read off the part number. It's engine family. All right, so this is engine family of the YBSXS.2051HF, and then it has the number on the side of that, 275160. Okay. All right, this came out really nice. And as I mentioned earlier, we want to remember it's been washed and all, twice now. Because I washed it yesterday after I hit it with the wire wheel. And then in that spring pocket, which you probably can't see, but we want to druze some down in there. And then we'll just pull it all the way through. Oh yeah. And then wipe out any excess. Yeah, it needs this. Okay. And now I can wipe out whatever's in there. And we're going to go mount it. Tires are outside doing their thing. Hopefully a customer comes soon. That stuff can sit, and then we'll wipe the tires off with a rag and mount them, and that'll be the last thing. So I'm going to go put this on. You got to take the carburetor off to get the blower cover off. Now I was going to test it last night, and anyway, the time got away from us. So we decided to do all the other things. So just to show you, the blower cover, you got to have the carburetor off. Well, let me see if I can stick the camera in there. Hold on, bear with me. This slips in, this shroud here, blower shroud, ties in underneath the cover. And there's another one that slips in, it's over here, and it's now underneath the cover. Okay, so those two got to slide in. And then it just kind of slides in underneath. By the way, I lubricated all in here and everything. We got the cable. I got to mount the bracket for the cable. So now I can put this back on. And I might as well just put basically everything back on, and you guys got to remind me, I got to put oil in it. All right, with everything all cleaned up and lubed, watch this. Little oil, little grease. Yeah, it just keeps going and going, as it should, fellas, as it should. All right, let's get some oil in this thing. I got to find a clamp for this, and I got to mount this. Right, get some hardware for that, and then adjust it, and then we should be. Oh, I got you staring at the light, fellas. Sorry. All right, and we'll put the tubes on and everything later. All right, this cap was a little loose, so I'm gonna check the other one. It looks like there's some water in there, as I suspected. Maybe even some dirt. So I'm gonna put some, somewhat decent used oil in there, and we'll run it. If it runs and it runs good, great. We're going to run it until it gets hot, and then we'll dump that oil. All right, I got a little bit of gas in it. Not a lot, because I don't want it to blow up. All the way down is kill, and then up, all the way up is full throttle-ish. Let's give it some choke, and let's give it a pull, just see how it does naturally. Let it run. Sounds great. That's the idle. that's even a lower idle. That motor runs great. I want to check the RPM on the top end. That's 1920. Yeah, that's okay that she stumbles a little bit. Remember, you're spinning a big blower, plus the air cleaner's not on. And I forgot to tighten one of the bolts and it fell out from the gas tank when I was pulling it off. So we got to get that back in there. Let's go bring it in and finish the cleanup on it, get the oil out of there. Yeah, it's got added water in it. Yep. All right, we'll get a better look in a minute. Water and yuck. Yeah, that's garbage, fellas. But I don't see anything weird in it. It was kind of clean oil, but water's been in it for a while. Not from me, not from pressure washing. It's been sitting out, and water's been oil. It's been getting all over the place, and water was getting in. It was left sitting face up, where everything was just running into the carburetor and into the combustion chamber. That's just common for this stuff. The last one of the last ones I did a number of these this year. We had to take the head off. Another one, I was able to get the valve to move. Just these motors are common at slightly different sizes. They're on snow blowers and rototillers. And so, yeah, this past year, I've done them all. All right, let's get some decent oil in it. It's a little dark, right, this oil, but it's the Shell Rotella T5. It's a blend, and I like to use a 1540. Although if you're going to be using this in a, I want to say an environment that's a little colder, you might just want to go with a straight 1040. But this is nice oil, and I pretty much put it in everything, generally because almost everything I get has been used and abused, and it can use a little help. Yeah, so let's get that done, and let's get it in there, and yeah, I'll be back in a bit. Unacceptable. Get a little chain wax in there too. And I'll wipe it out. Also do some in here too. We're gonna get this door going. Let me check the door. Hold the door. Fuel on. Choke. Mid throttle. Let's give it a pull. Fellas. Oh yeah. Yeah. I got a rag holding it in place. I gotta put the little tire valve caps on. Yeah, she's beautiful. Alright, I put these on there. The holes were bare, so I just threw something on. You probably can't even get these handlebars apart anymore. They need to be lubricated, greased. And I guess the idea is to take them off and maybe put them around the other way, or just lay them across here for storage. The bolts that I took out of the engine, put those back. The bolt in the back, when I tried loosening them up, that's done. So really we needed the plastic here, which is this plastic cover, which I took off another machine. Engine, right? Because I've been working on these, as I mentioned. We need a carburetor, so shout out to HIPA. You can tell it needs a little tuning, the carburetor. Like, it would probably be a good idea to drill it just a little bit. But once it warms up, it's fine. And, you know, I can tell on that one segment, I just kind of brought the choke back to close just a little bit to here, about to here. I don't know if you can see that. She ran good. That means she's running a little lean. But then when it warms up, fellas, it's fine. So you can tell there's a tiny little bit of stumble when you go full throttle. But remember, you're turning a big air impeller, which is also heavy. And again, I think if you're running this thing and you whatever RPM you put it to is the RPM you're really going to use. And the only time you're really going to bring the RPM down is, one, it's going to come down because the kill is all the way down and it's going to come down on RPM there. And the other is, like, maybe you need to move furniture or dog poop, or you find something, you don't want to shut it off, so you just want to drop the speed down to like an idle, and she idles really good. There are no other adjustments on these carburetors other than drilling a jet. And I'm not asking for a lot for it, because, you know, these days you can't seem to get very much, especially towards the end of the year. This would be something that I would love to ask 250, 300, 400, honestly. But I don't think you get 200 for it this time of year. It just, even though the leaves have fallen, but a lot of people have already cleaned up the leaves, people don't have any money. Also, a big shout out to my buddy TJ, friend of the channel, who set me up with this nice swag. And no, I don't sell it or anything like that yet. I'm not capable of doing that just yet. This thing's beautiful. I think it was Brett had mentioned on a live show. He's like, "Oh, I want that. That's a nice little blower." It sure enough is. Thanks for watching this episode of Archer's Garage. If you've watched the whole thing, you know what we did to it. Didn't need a lot. It was neglected. I can't understand, fellas, why this was from the dump. I don't know. That's another conversation for a live show. I'll see you guys later. It's Friday night. Good night.